What's up? We are back for Do That But Better. I'm Zach here with Eric. Eric, how you doing?
I'm doing great. We're on vacation in Tennessee, so you
Super
can
cool.
tell I have been jumping in the lake and whatnot.
That's awesome. Where in Tennessee you at?
Watts Bar Lake.
Hmm.
So I think it's maybe like 40 miles west of Knoxville,
Okay, cool.
sort of central.
Are you gonna be uh when are you coming back?
Next week, Tuesday-ish, I think.
Hmm. Yeah, if you guys stop, well, I don't know when he's gonna be in, but Ed's gonna be in. Actually, Sarah and Danny are gonna be in, and yeah, so you might want to stop by on your way.
Uh, okay. Yep, that would be good to know.
Yeah, but I think Ed's gonna be later though. He's so, but Eric, even awesomer. So, like I was almost telling you, got my windshield done while I'm working, and you now I want to tell you about my windshield. So, did I tell you how it broke?
No.
There's a site called Buy Nothing where you can just like you can offer up free stuff or what best thing on the internet, by the way.
Yeah.
And there was PVC, and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna make a rail for skateboarding, so I can do some board slides. And so free PVC, which is only like $1 or two in the first place.
Yeah.
And I pick it up and I put it in my car, and I'm like, man, this is perfect. It fits perfectly. And I slam my tailgate, and boom, it breaks my window. And I'm like, this is the most expensive piece of PVC I've ever bought. All for my skateboarding habit.
Whoops.
But because it's summer, I'm skateboarding more, which has been fantastic. And one thing that is on lots of people's minds when it comes to summer is number one, summer bodies. And they're like, all right, I need to get in shape for my bathing suit. And so I want to start eating well. But the big problem is there's cookouts and there's parties. And what am I supposed to do?
hmm
The,
Especially like if you've been doing the what is it? Summer wads or winter wads for summer bods, right? You've been working hard all winter and now you're looking good, but now it's like, do I stick to what I've been doing or do I go all out at the parties? And where's the balance of that?
yeah. And vacation, just like
Yep.
where you're at. Now, the funny thing is that I think that people freak out about this. But unlike your holiday parties, and I'm talking about like your winter holiday parties, I
hmm
feel like summertime is the easiest time to eat great and still feel like you're partying and on vacation.
Totally.
So, yeah, so parties, we got cookouts, we're grilling, and people are like, all right, what am I gonna do? And I think the first thing that we got to think about is we need to start eating real food. And when we're talking about real food, I want to go straight to the things that in their natural state, you just throw them on a grill and you can eat it. So
Yep.
your meat and vegetables and all those other things are going to come, right? When you go to a party, there's going to be chips, there's going to be pop, there's going to be all this other kind of crap. But if you just start thinking of what do I want to eat, and meat and vegetables, this lots of times sounds like it's limiting you, but really it's opening you up to exactly what you want, right? And lots of times you go and there's you're going to have your chips and things like that, and you go, well, I guess I'll take this chip, or I'm going to take this thing, and it's like, no, you're settling for the crap. And if you think about a party, the hero at the party is always the person that brought this, like it's a real thing, right? The person who stopped at Walmart and grabbed the cookies and like threw them on the table in the plastic container. They're like, look at this cheap piece of crap, you lazy son of a gun, right? And then
That's what
guess what?
Zach is thinking
That's
at
what
your
I'm
party.
thinking. And and even if I do that, like I'm not immune to that. It's like, you know what? I didn't plan crap, and I'm stopping, and here's a pre-made something, and throw it on the table, and everybody loves it. But the thing is that usually that stuff is crap. And so if somebody is being lazy and throwing you crap, don't feel like you need to eat it,
Yeah.
no matter
Yeah,
how
I feel
good it
like
makes you feel.
there's always this weird obligation. And man, you notice like the chip section of the buffet is always just a mountain.
Hmm.
It's like, oh, well, I do like some Doritos. Oh, but there's also nacho Doritos and Cool Ranch, so I'll get them both, and some potato chips. It's like, this is totally unnecessary, especially when, like, personally, I just go for the meat. And if there's some veggies, that's awesome. But the other stuff, like, there's no obligation as you walk through the buffet to try
Hmm.
everything that everyone brought. Like I've experienced this where I feel like, oh, well, no one's eating this thing. I feel bad for that person, or like, well, they brought this, so I should try it. But like, it doesn't matter. No one's standing there watching, like, ooh, who tried my stuff?
Yeah.
If it's not for you, then don't take it. There's no obligation.
Yeah, especially if you have tons of people, you you can't get to everybody's stuff,
Yeah.
and that's totally fine. And remember that there's that lazy piece of crap that you're trying to appease them, and they spent no time on you, right?
Yeah.
And I'll tell you what, I think that when you're going to these parties and cookouts and vacations and stuff like that, the time together is more important than the food. The food is it's
It's the
just the things that
excuse.
brings people around. Yeah, like,
Yeah, it's
hey,
the excuse to hang out.
yeah, yeah, exactly. It's um I mean, really, like, think of it like chips and guacamole. Like, the chips are just so that I can spoon guacamole into my face, but we put it there, so that you're not just sticking your finger in the bowl. It's the
Perfect
same.
analogy.
It's the same kind of thing. So,
Uh,
but yeah, like when you're going to these parties, or if you're planning them yourself, I think actually what one great way to do it is plan them yourself. Now you get to
yep.
make the host of what is going to be there. You're like, hey, I'm going to be making this. If you want to bring something, great. And then when they bring their stuff, you can say, don't forget to take that home with you. But you really get to navigate this a little bit better. And when I go to like when I start thinking about summer foods, man, this is the best time for all your real foods. Things are in season.
Yep.
You're pulling zucchinis out of the garden, and people are grabbing their tomatoes, and all this stuff. It's like, this is real stuff. It's not the crappy tomatoes that you get in the winter where they're sort of white and maybe a little bit of red and like maybe pinkish. This is like the real deal, and you get to
Hmm.
really enjoy these where they actually have flavor. If you've ever noticed that when you are getting these things that aren't necessarily ripe, they're trying to ripen them up as they ship them, that they're just sort of bland. And now you get the full stuff. And Eric, when what are some of your favorite grilling or like even just barbecue foods?
I mean, the simple like hamburger, something like marinated chicken is super easy and delicious.
Hmm.
Um, those are our go-tos, and of course, our next door neighbor works for a bison distributor.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, I mean, we had bison steaks the other day, and
Oh, well, la di da.
that's pretty good.
Yeah, and you know what? I think that a lot of times people look at things like hamburgers and they're like, "Oh, that's going to make me fat," and "Oh, that's not the good decision."
Hmm.
And really, it's like, no, get your meat, get your vegetables, and really, even if we go to a party and it's like we're gonna go crappy, right? And it's like, all right, I'm getting some hot dogs, which yeah, it's processed meat and whatever. Um, you're possibly going to have a better outcome by going for the hot dog as opposed to your Doritos and things like that. Number one, it's already portioned out, and you feel like a tool when you have five hot dogs, right? So you might only have two to three, but with
And
the
a hamburger. You got to supplement.
there you go, yeah, but you you might like if you go and get some Doritos or something like that, you can crush a whole bag very
Oh,
easily. And so it portions it out a little bit better for you, and you're getting the protein, or at least some protein that you need. It'll help you stay full longer. And yeah, most people aren't going to eat five hot dogs, but you can easily eat a bag of chips and circle the bowls and
yeah.
pretzels and name your thing here. These are all processed things, so stick to those real things. I love this time of year because people start thinking about shish kebabs, and I love arrachera, and I definitely think that our mom's is the best. So we've got that. Do you make that recipe ever? Do you have that
We
recipe?
have a few times. Yeah, it
Yeah,
is
it is
outstanding.
fire. But it's super simple. And now you can take all your vegetables and you're soaking them in some vinegar and some oil. And so again, real things, and they taste fantastic. And this is actually a great way to portion things out again. Natalie had a friend who was from Vietnam, and he would have his Vietnamese barbecues, and they were the absolute best. He would buy a crap ton of meat, and he would chop it up really small. And it's so funny. So even like hamburgers and hot dogs and stuff like that, right? You get this, or like if you wanted to have steak for a big party, you're like, oh crap, I got to get a
Hmm.
steak for everybody. It's like, guess what? Chop it up, and now you have pieces of steak. It's fantastic. People can pick and choose like little pieces of things, almost like having tapas, right?
Yeah,
And um, a, a lot of food goes a long way. I think that when you're having that real food,
a little food goes a long way.
what did I say?
A lot of food goes a long way.
Well, they're
Which
both
it's
true.
true,
They're
but yeah.
they're two things can be true at the same time, Eric.
But yeah, so that makes me think something I've done with the that I learned with kids is that if you give them like a piece of food like this, they're gonna suck it down and then want more. But if you cut it up into a bunch of pieces, then they take each bite and they're satisfied with a normal amount of food instead of
Mm.
wanting to inhale tons. And it works the same with adults. And I think that is why like shish kebabs, like right now, we're at a lake house. I think let's see, in a couple days we're gonna have 17 people or 19 people here,
Holy crap!
something like that. Yeah. So when we're like planning meals, exactly that. Let's marinate some chicken, bring it frozen, chop it all up, put it on the grill in kebabs. You're good to go.
So easy, so easy, and that's for if you're camping. If you're actually you're on vacation, so even if you're going to a hotel, I just had a member who was out of town for actually it's been multiple weeks now. It was like a week, then back, and then out again for work. And they're like, I don't know how I'm gonna eat well. And we were talking about it, and they came up with the idea to take their Instapot, and they crushed it. They crushed it. And so, you're in a hotel, Instapot. Dude, how many other stupid things are you bringing in your car that you probably don't need? And especially if you're in a hotel, great idea. But like you said, now you can have things marinating in your cooler, all chopped up already, and now you
Mm-hmm.
throw it on the grill. It takes less time because it's all in small pieces,
Yep.
and you even don't even have to worry about the mess that it makes in your cooler because you can throw it in some good Tupperware, and you're all set.
Yep.
So all right, so we got our meat. right? So number one, stick to the meatiest things and try and get your leanest meats. I mean, like that will be most beneficial. But if um, you're subjected to the processed meats too, I would go for those first, right?
Yep.
If those are your choices. Then we got our vegetables, and like we were talking about, vegetable season is upon us. Everything is ripe and fantastic, and you need to eat it, or it will go bad. So you don't maximize this, and you try and get the freshest vegetables that you can. And guess what? When you are bringing like cucumbers from your garden, everyone's like, "Oh, wow, that's fantastic!" And now you're helping them out too.
Yep.
But again, throwing these on the grill, this is like, man, one of my favorite things is sliced zucchini with a little bit of olive oil and salt on the grill. It's one of the best ways to have them, and
Yep.
you get, especially when they start getting big, like so you get those huge zucchinis, making zucchini boats, and so you chop them up, seed them, and now throw some meat in there. Throw a little like pasta sauce or something like that, and you've got a freaking fantastic meal, and you can share that up. Nobody wants to eat a 6 foot zucchini.
Totally. And I mean, for kids, we do that. Basically, just make sloppy joes.
Mm, yeah,
Put in your zucchinis or your sweet potatoes or whatever. Same thing. Make a
yeah,
boat. Eat it that way. So good.
yeah. Start making some vegetable salads. So tomatoes and onions with a little bit of vinegar and olive oil. And one of my favorite things, and this is a hot or cold meal, zucchini with tomatoes. And like lots of times I'll use like canned tomatoes, but chop it up into like medallions, and then so with a little bit of onions, so olive oil in a pan, zucchini, onions, some salt, maybe some like oregano, something like that, lots of garlic, and when those tomatoes get in there, it almost makes like a soup. But then you put in like some Parmesan cheese, or even if you really want to go crazy, put some shredded mozzarella, and it just sort of soaks into it and melts in. And that is probably one of my favorite meals. And you can let this get cold, and it's really freaking good cold. And then you throw some meat in on top of it, maybe some like Italian sausage or something like that. And it is a rock star meal, whether it's hot or cold out. So if you want to, you can save it for winter, but it's fantastic cold in the summer.
Seriously. I That's one that like if I see it in the bowl in the fridge,
Hmm.
it's just like, okay, that's gone now. That's mine.
Yeah,
It
yeah,
doesn't
and
matter how much there is.
and even my kids will eat it. There's something about that combination that's
Hmm.
fantastic. I also love three bean salad. So wax beans, green beans, and kidney beans. And what's so funny about that?
Thinking about all the beans, I don't know. Makes
Yeah,
me think you're gonna be gassy. That's why.
I will not. But yeah, so those three, olive oil, um, vinegar, and you can do like a 1-to-1, and then you can put in a little bit of something sweet, so a little bit of sugar, a little bit of honey, something like that, just to sweeten it up. I actually I don't mind it with without sugar, like, but I'm a vinegar addict, so
Same.
uh, but I mean that's another thing that I can't keep in the house if we make it. And actually, you know what? Throwing in a little bit of onion in there too sometimes is fantastic. And so now, once again, you've got real ingredients, you've got real foods, and this already sounds like a party. So we've got you got arrachera, so we're making fajitas. Now you grill up some green peppers and some onions, and you throw some zucchini on the grill, and you have a tomato salad, and you've got some zucchini and tomato, whatever you want to call it, stew, and you got a couple hamburgers, or you have some chopped steak. This sounds like the best barbecue I've ever had, right? And people are like, "Well, what am I going to do with these hot dogs and chips?" It's like throw them in the garbage. It's a bunch of crap. It's like quit going to crappy parties. We're adults.
Seriously, speaking of, I feel like you have to you every fancy hipster place now, if you're getting street tacos, there's coleslaw on top. If you're getting burgers, there's coleslaw on top. And that's because coleslaw is the best. Every kind, it can be like traditional, like the Asian, like again, like the vinegar coleslaws,
Yeah,
everything
the
with,
creamy coleslaws.
yeah, nuts and fruit mixed in. I don't care what kind of coleslaw it is, I will eat it and I will put it on top of everything else that I'm eating.
I'm so with you. And I've never understood why people would like people hate coleslaw. And like you get that little thing of coleslaw with your hamburger at a restaurant or what, and everyone's like, "Oh, I'm not eating that." I'm
You're
like,
like,
"Dude, give
thanks.
me
I
that."
now I have six.
I know. I wouldn't order food just because I would get everyone's coleslaw. But yeah, coleslaw is my jam. And actually, Maddie just started. She was making some just recently because we didn't have any like pre-made coleslaw sauce, and it was super easy and it was
Oh yeah.
fantastic. So once
Yep.
again, making real foods, you don't need to go anywhere, and now you're putting the work in. So when you bring this thing, it's not just Mama whatever's coleslaw that you got out of the refrigerator section. You're like, oh, I
Mm-hmm.
just made this, and you know what's in it.
Yep.
And a lot of these same things that you would get at a grocery store or whatever prepackaged, you're going to have crappy oils. So you're going to have your canola oils or vegetable oils. You're going to have lots of sugar in your sauces. And even if you want to add your own sugar, you get to regulate that. So you can go, all right, this isn't going to be just total debauchery. It's going to be a delicious coleslaw the
Yep.
way that I want it.
Yeah. And man, I'll say anytime, pretty much any recipe that we make, if it's got, some sauce or something, I immediately cut whatever sweetener it is in the recipe in half.
Mhm.
And never have I ever been like, oh, that's not enough.
Yeah,
It really is like that easy.
right. Yeah. So we got meat, we got vegetables, and of course we got fruit. And once again, it's fruit season. I remember when Natalie was pregnant with one of the kids. We were in Georgia, and we got some peaches. And I'm not sure if she just suckered me into it because it was like a craving, or if the peaches were really great. But like all of a sudden, everything was about peaches, and it's like, taste this peach, taste. And we're like, all right, I'm tasting this peach. And like I've really gotten just accustomed to like that summer peach, and they're just fantastic. But
Oh, that's
some
by
of those
us,
things
it's
that you don't usually have.
crazy. Palisade peaches from the western slope of Colorado.
Oh yeah,
Pretty soon, yeah, in the next probably month, all the trucks will start showing up on street corners with their crates of peaches.
that's
And
awesome.
people will be like, "Did you get your crates yet? I got like 6 crates of peaches. Do you need any?"
I can't
Okay.
I can't imagine having a peach farm because I feel like it would just be bees and bugs everywhere.
That, yeah, I would imagine.
But yeah, so making a fruit salad and just throwing in a bunch of stuff. And dude, who doesn't like a fruit salad? And this is one of those things that can sometimes get off the rails a little bit. Like now all of a sudden you're throwing in a bunch of sugar into already freaking sweet stuff. And it's actually one thing that's really good, especially with berries, is balsamic vinegar. And there's
Yep.
something about like the sweet with balsamic vinegar that is just fire. And you can really make that into any fruit salad. So take any fruits that you want, chop them up, mix them up, and throw that in there. And you don't need to add sugar into it. And again, you're just getting real food again.
Yeah. And really, I mean, even like a lettuce salad, if you're making a salad,
Hmm.
putting strawberries, blueberries, whatever fruit you want with that balsamic vinegar, like, I mean, I've been at weddings where it's like a strawberry and goat cheese salad. Oh
Hmm.
my goodness.
Oh yeah.
So
Actually,
good.
that's another great grilling thing that you can also go off the rails on. Uh, is so the little bell peppers and
Oh yeah.
so chop them up and stuff them with a little bit of chorizo and some goat cheese. So like cook up the chorizo and and then mix the cheese in while it's still hot, and then just spoon that into the peppers. Oh my crap, is that fire? Now let me ask you something, Eric. If I said that we're having a barbecue, we're gonna have hot dogs and Lay's potato chips and some pop. Or if I said that we're gonna have fajitas with grilled peppers and onions, and we're having zucchinis grilled with olive oil, and we're gonna have homemade coleslaw with some three bean salad and with fruit salad with balsamic glaze. Which freaking party are you going to? I mean, come on. Don't tell me that the summer is a bad time for eating.
Seriously. Yeah. All the and you think like you were talking about the like Christmas winter holiday parties
Hmm.
where everything is baked.
Yeah.
It's all baked goods. It's all basically just different versions of bread. Because that's all that exists in the winter,
Yeah,
right? So like this is when we talk all the time about whole foods. This is exactly when it all is ripe and ready and easily accessible and it's cheaper. What's not to like?
that's it. There you go. Stick to real foods. Stop eating like crap and have a great summer with your meat and vegetables. Is it I
That's it.
mean, is there anything else to say? There you go.
Nothing.
And if you're looking for recipes, if you're looking for little ideas, hit us up because yeah, it's these small things that make a big difference, and sometimes you just have to look at it from a different way.
Hmm.
But yeah, you can really kill it this summer and make everyone happy that you go to their party, or if they come to your party. Be the hero. Be the summer hero.
Yep, that's it.
All right. You guys, we will see you next week. No, not well. We won't see you. We
Yeah,
won't see
yeah.
you for next week.
I'll
But
be in a car.
every Tuesday at 12 o'clock, we'll see you later for Do That But Better. Talk to you soon.
All right, see ya.